This morning I am in the very beautiful Hunter Valley test driving the new Mazda CX-90. This is Mazda's brand new premium 7-seater SUV. Let's find out how good it is as a baby drive, and don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on our socials. The child seat section of this review is brought to you by InfoSecure. The Mazda CX-90 is available as a 7 or a 6-seater. So it is available with captain's chairs in the second row and 2 seats in the third row. Here I have the 7-seater model, so I've got a bench seat across this second row with 3 seats and 2 seats in the rear. Now in this model there are Isofix in the 2 outer rear seats. They are within plastic guides and lovely and easy to connect to. There's top tether anchorages on the back of all 3 of these second row seats, and they're really lovely and easy to access and connect to as well. Now I have got 2 InfoSecure child seats in here today. I have got the Momentum More and the Attain More. Now they fit really nicely using the Isofix and the top tether anchorages. Now I'm predicting you would be able to fit a 3rd seat across here. These seats are slightly wider than in the Mazda CX-9, which really nicely holds 3 child seats. I found as well that I could sit in the centre here between the 2 child seats really nice and comfortably. In the 3rd row there are top tether anchorages in the back of both of those seats, but there's no Isofix. And you can fit 2 InfoSecure child seats in the back there too. Now when it comes to 3rd row access, the mechanism is slightly different than in the Mazda CX-9. You press a button down at the bottom of the seat base here, and that brings the seat forward and the backrest forward too. Or I found if you just slide this seat forward, then you've got a lovely access through to the 3rd row that most children will be able to get through. To learn more about the child seats in this review, just click on the links here. All models of the Mazda CX-90 come with built-in window blinds in the rear doors, which is fantastic news for families to keep those rear passengers in the back nicely shaded from the sun while you're driving along. For those familiar with the Mazda CX-8 and CX-9, you'll know that neither of them have 3rd row air vents. In the Mazda CX-90, I'm glad to tell you there are air vents in all 3 rows of seats, which is fantastic news for large families. In the 3rd row, they're on either side. In the 2nd row, they're in the back of the central console box, and obviously they're in the dash for the front row passengers. 2nd row passengers have controls for the climate in the back of the central console box too. And for parents in the front, there are controls in the central console where you can actually control the rear aircon and you can turn it on and off. So if you've got fiddly-fingered little kids in the back, you can take control. There are 10 airbags in the Mazda CX-90, and they do have curtain airbags that extend right to the 3rd row passengers, so you know that they are covered in the event of an accident. There's also a central airbag between the driver and front passenger in the event of a side collision too. I'm also told that the Mazda CX-90 has double the rear impact rigidity of the CX-9. So in the event of a rear end collision, then your 3rd row passengers have that extra protection. The bonnet overhang has been decreased and the rear overhang has been increased, which increases the rear cabin space for the 2nd and 3rd row and for the boot here. So I'm looking forward to putting this through our full baby drive testing in a few weeks with our family and seeing what prams and shopping bags will fit in the boot. Now the Mazda CX-90 is a really lovely, smooth and quiet car to drive. You really notice it when you're out on the road. It's got that lovely premium luxury feel, no road noise or wind noise or anything like that, which makes it much more pleasant for your rear passengers too. Now I find it really hugs the road, leans into the corners, and as I say, it's really nice and smooth. Visibility is good in here, really lovely big windows, and the top spec model's got that skylight as well. Now for the rear passengers, hopefully that equates to less travel sickness, but I'll also find that out when I drive it with my kids in a few weeks. Now, The media system in here has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in all specs and models, and it's a rotary dial control while you're moving, but when you're stayed still and in park you can use the touchscreen. So to sum up with the Mazda CX-90, it makes a very beautiful and elegant 7-seat family car. It's got 5 top tether anchorages in the back and those 2 Isofix, so I'm predicting that 5 InfoSecure child seats are going to fit nicely in there when I do my full testing. The third row access is still good like it was in the Mazda CX-9, and I'm also hopeful that you will not have to uninstall a child seat in the second row to access those third row seats. Legroom is really good in here, and headroom. We could fit a 180cm driver in front of a rear-facing child seat and another passenger in the third row behind it. The boot space has increased, so I'm hoping again when I do my testing with my family in a few weeks that we'll be able to fit more prams or larger prams in the boot when you're using all 7 seats. Rear passengers do have built-in window blinds in all specs, so that's fantastic news for families. And there's also air vents in all 3 rows of seats. The media system now has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wireless, so that's fantastic news. And the drive is lovely and smooth and quiet. You'll be able to see the full review in a few weeks' time when I test it with my family.